Oh, there we go.
Devin Archer. Congratulations, Devin.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum for your attention. This memorandum requires the immediate declassification of all FBI files relating to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. This was obviously one of the instances of the weaponization of law enforcement powers of prosecution against you and others. We believe that it's long past time for the American people to have a full and complete understanding of what exactly is in those files.
Which gives the media the right to go in and check it. You probably won't bother because you're not going to like what you see.
Yeah, fake news ain't going to do that.
This was total weaponization. It's a disgrace. Should never happen in this country. But now you'll be able to see for yourselves, all declassified.
Good, Trump.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All declassified?
Yes, sir.
Everything?
The FBI file with there's a classified annex, but other than that, this we'll put everything in the public eye.
We're about to lose battery power.
Is anybody going to look? What about you? You gonna look?
No, the fake news isn't going to look. We already know that, Trump.
And frankly, the FBI should be ashamed of themselves, and so should the Department of Justice, and so should Biden. Okay?
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention. We've taken action against a number of law firms that have participated either in the weaponization of government, the weaponization of the legal system for political ends, or have otherwise engaged in illegal or inappropriate activities. The law firm of Jenner and Block is one of these law firms. This is a law firm that, as you know, employed Andrew Weissman after he came off of the Mueller investigation. It's a law firm that's engaged in invidious racially and sexually discriminatory practices. It's also a law firm that has participated in the weaponization of the legal system against American principles and values. And we believe that the measures in this executive order will help correct that.
And Andrew Weissman is the main culprit?
He's certainly...
With respect to this firm?
He is one of a number of reasons that we believe this executive order is warranted.
He's a bad guy. Okay.
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. Historically, checks issued by the Treasury are, I believe, 14 times more likely to become the subject of fraud than electronic transfer payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, which is obviously an endeavor that we've been pursuing in numerous aspects of government under your leadership.
It's basically modernization of equipment and methods, and it's something that really I think he's going to be a great Secretary of the Treasury wanted, Scott. And so we're doing this, and we have other modernization programs going on. We could let somebody else, whoever's next, whoever that may be, do it, but it's something that should have been done 25.
I don't know if I like that.
Invidious racially and sexually discriminatory practices. It's also a law firm that has participated in the weaponization of the legal system against American principles and values, and we believe that the measures in this executive order will help correct that.
And Andrew Weissman is the main culprit?
He's certainly...
With respect to this firm?
He is one of a number of reasons that we believe this executive order is warranted.
He's a bad guy.
That one seems okay, but the next one...
Okay.
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. Historically, checks issued by the Treasury are, I believe, 14 times more likely to become the subject of fraud than electronic transfer payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using
Trump, that one I'm not feeling so much because, like, you should still be able to get a paper check. That one I kind of disagree with.
Electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. which is obviously an endeavor that we've been pursuing in numerous aspects of government under your leadership.
It's basically modernization of equipment and methods, and it's something that really I think he's going to be a great Secretary of the Treasury wanted, Scott. And so we're doing this, and we have other modernization programs going on. We could let somebody else, whoever's next, whoever that may be, do it, but it's something that should have been done 25, 30 years ago.
They're talking about payments for government employees. That I kind of agree with. I don't know what this pertains to, though, so I can't really speak to it.
Okay.
What's the next one? First one I
Along
like.
similar lines, sir, this is an executive order. We're calling it Protecting America's Bank Account. The basic idea here is that instead of having lots of different departments and agencies and offices issuing payment, often without justification, often without any provided rationale, we're going to be centraling payment processes where possible in the Department of the Treasury and ensuring that measures are taken in Treasury against waste, fraud, and abuse to ensure that money that's leaving the public Treasury is as protected as it possibly can be.
That sounds
All right.
good. We would have had all that money given to Ukraine if that bill was there, probably. By Joe Biden's dumbass. Potholes, curb to curb.
Many of these,
Oh, side notes. Did you know the city of Chicago put up 16 new speed cameras fucking yesterday to try to make up for all that money they're spending on the migrants and that $13 million loan they took out? They put up and they're sneaky as hell, these new speed cameras too. They're fucking like really, oh, here, these fucking potholes, man. God damn, they're brutal right there. Needs to make an executive order to fix that goddamn road. Tell that mayor, hey man, you gotta put that $13 million loan into actually starting to fix these roads, bro. You got a $13 million loan to fix roads in the city of Chicago, and this fucking mayor hasn't done jack shit. And all the people that are school teachers think that this mayor's good. Hey, little do you all know, you know he's on paid leave right now, the mayor of Chicago. Or not paid leave, not fraternity leave. Well, some type of leave he's on. So as soon as Brandon Johnson is done being the mayor of Chicago, he's gonna get to collect his retirement from the Chicago public school system. Because he's on leave right now. So, all you school teachers that think that Brandon Johnson's good, the only reason he's doing anything good to help you guys is for his fucking retirement. Learn that.
should have taken place decades ago or longer.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order for your attention on the very important subject of election integrity. We believe that this executive order is the farthest reaching executive action taken in the history of the Republic to secure our elections. Among numerous other aspects of this executive
You shouldn't
order,
have to have an
this
ID
is
to go
going to cut down on illegal immigrants on the voter rolls, ensure that the
good.
Department of Homeland Security and the data that they have available is being fully weaponized to ensure that illegal immigrants aren't voting. This will include a citizenship question on the federal voting form for the first time. This executive order instructs the EAC to cut federal funding to states that don't take reasonable steps to secure their election. This calls on the Department of Justice to vigorously prosecute election crimes, particularly in states that we don't believe are in compliance with federal law around election integrity. I could go on and on for a while, sir, but the compliance with National Election Day rules, cracking down and investigating and prosecuting foreign interference in our elections, revoking President Biden's Executive Order 14019, which essentially weaponized government to corrupt and pollute our election process. There's a lot in here, but we believe that these are very important steps that we need to be taking as an administration at your direction to ensure that our elections are as secure as they possibly can be.
Okay, you all understand that? Yes.
Like, subscribe, share, by the way, hit
Election fraud.
thumbs up. That's a good one.
You've heard
No
the term?
election fraud.
Will end it, hopefully. At least this will
Illegal
go a long
immigrants
way
shouldn't
toward
be
ending it.
voting in
There are
our
other steps
elections. I
that we
like
will be
that.
taking in the coming weeks. And we think we'll be able to end up getting fair elections.
That's good.
Perhaps some people think I shouldn't be complaining because we won in a landslide. But We got to straighten out our election. This country is so sick because of the election, the fake elections and the bad
I
elections.
agree.
I'm going to straighten it out one way or the other. And it's an honor to sign this one. To sign all of them, but to sign this one is a great honor.
That is a good one to sign. Yeah, I'll give him a clap for that one. And Dodge, hey Dodge.
Thank you very much.
Back to what this video's about, Dodge.
So we're going to go.
Ain't nobody want that fucking goofy ass electric car that you all built with the speaker box for the fucking engine noise. Nobody wants that goofy ass fucking electric Dodge, man. You guys should have learned when nobody wanted that Mustang Mach 1E, that fucking SUV looking ugly monstrosity of a fucking evil, fucking disgusting fucking child of Dodge Ford Mustang. The Mach E one, the one that's fucking like a fucking Tesla, but it looks goofy as hell. You guys should have learned with that when nobody wanted that ugly ass thing, and then they went back to making regular Mustangs again for 2026. Gas-powered Mustangs, V8 Mustangs. You guys should have learned with that. Nobody wants that goofy-ass electric shit, man. If you're gonna get an electric thing, you might as well just get a fucking Tesla. Why do you want to get a fucking thing that's using more power to produce a speaker to make a fake engine noise? It's stupid. That is just plain stupid. And the car's not even that fast. And on top of that, you only have like a 200-mile range on that electric Dodge Daytona, I think it's called. See, that's a real Dodge. That blue one that just turned right there. That goofy-ass fucking Charger Daytona, whatever, Scat Pack Daytona you called it. That thing's ugly as hell. Maybe if you put a gas engine in it, it would be okay. But that car's fucking, nobody's gonna want that. You're like fucking trying to go out of business, Dodge. That car sucks. Make a gas car. Maybe put a gas motor in that Dodge Daytona, wherever the fuck Scat Pack electric fucking monstrosity is, and put a fucking engine in it. Put a fucking Hellcat in it. Put a fucking, and maybe you'll sell some cars, sell some of those fucking cars that you already built a body for. I mean, that'd be cool, a gas-powered car, but I don't even know if you can fit an engine under the fucking big fin that they made in the front stupid spoiler thing. Right now, I froze the video. Play.
In the room a little bit quickly, and we're going to introduce these very outstanding people. They've had, in all cases, outstanding careers. They're very incredible people that going along as rapidly as the system can go along. We're ahead
This
of.
video is good, by the way, where I was talking to them again, trying to convince them to vote for Trump.
Asterisco, asterisco, cargos que son irrelevantes con los que ni siquiera debería ir a la corte y lo que está tratando de hacer es aterrorizar y está tratando de meter a la persona.
What new car plants are currently being built in the United States? Let's see. Let's see if these executive orders started taking place yet, where they're making cars in America. Ah, 1 day ago. What is this one? Trump tariffs auto. Oh, here, about the Ford F-150. This sounds good.
I'm Dan Oliver, the owner and founder of Dano's Seasoning.
You ain't paying me, I ain't fucking running your ad. If you want to send me some money, then I'll do a whole fucking little speech on whatever you're trying to sell. But unless you want to send me some money, I ain't doing shit like that. That was a commercial for TikTok?
And that means
A 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff.
but no car, not even a US-built Ford F-150, is 100% US made.
Well, they're
Just
gonna have
look
to
inside.
start it.
It's made up of thousands and thousands of parts. Those parts come from over 24 different countries.
Well, we're gonna have to
Countries
put
like
24
Mexico,
factories
Canada,
in the US,
Romania.
it sounds like.
Trump wants these parts to say made in the US. But moving all of
That's
this
good.
is not so simple.
Oh,
To
wow.
lift and shift that whole thing, that's kind of like saying,
gonna
oh,
have
pick
to
up the
move
state
it.
of Maine and move
That's
it
a
over
real
to
Dodge
Wyoming.
right there in
Could
front
do
of
it? I suppose you could, but man, it would be tough duty.
So let's break it down to understand what Trump is trying to do with a slew of new tariffs and why automakers are warning it could backfire.
No, I don't think it's gonna
This
backfire.
chart
The only
shows
thing
where
it's gonna
cars sold in
backfire
the
on
US
is the
are
car
coming
dealers
from.
themselves.
All of these cars
The car
now face that
manufacturers
25%
building their
auto
shit in
tax.
other countries.
But this 53% of US-made cars is also affected by that tariff because of all of those foreign parts.
Right, so those
Some of the
foreign
major
parts need to
components,
start
this
getting
is for the
made in
Ford
America
F-150. They have an
again.
alternator, create current. It's from Mexico. We have half shafts. These deliver torque to the wheels from the driveline.
Well, we better start
They're
making
from
those in
Canada.
America.
We have tires, of course, 5 of them. These come from Korea.
Well,
Of course,
it
you have
sounds
to
like
have
they better
wheels.
start
In this
coming from
case,
the
it's tires,
US.
tractive wheels. These all come from Mexico.
Well, it sounds
Those
like they need to
tires
start
from
coming
South
from
Korea
America
would face
then.
that auto tariff, and any reciprocal or universal tariff placed on the country. Those parts from Canada and Mexico, well, that's where it gets more complicated. Eventually,
And this is why they're gonna, if anything, Canada and Mexico that's been raping us for years with tariffs way before Trump ever even got in office, now what they're doing to us, we're gonna start doing to them. That's good. This guy's trying to play it like it's not good, but it is good. Continuing on with what they're saying about the Ford.
they would face that auto tariff, any reciprocal or universal
Good, they
tariff,
should.
and an additional Mexico-Canada tariff.
Good,
But the White
'cause
House
we're
said
being
parts
tariffed.
compliant with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Trade Agreement, or USMCA, remain tariff-free until there is a process to apply tariffs to their non-U.S. content. And for some parts, like a transmission, there will be a lot of content to
Well, we
consider.
better start
When you
making it in
realize
America.
what goes into an automatic transmission,
If you want to be a
that's what
car
this
company
is.
that
And so you can
exceeds,
see this
you better start
plethora of parts,
doing that. If you want to be a
gears,
car company
and
that
seals,
succeeds.
springs, fasteners, valves, and shafts.
Sounds like we should
all
quit
these
giving people
different
in other
parts.
countries a
They
job, and the
can,
job should
come
be
from
created
different
here in
suppliers,
America.
And those suppliers can be located pretty much anywhere in the world.
Take a look at this map showing how Canadian manufacturer Linamar creates transmissions for the U.S. market today.
Well, they better
It
start
takes
making them in
several
America.
border crossings before that part is in a car being sold in the U.S. These 3 crossings into the U.S. would eventually face Trump's tariffs.
Good.
And even if the manufacturing of all of this was moved into the U.S., this part, the raw steel, would still be subject to Trump's 25% tariff.
Okay, well, to what he said about that, that's why we need to start producing our own steel. That's why we need to go get Ukraine's fucking steel for all that money that fucking shithead Joe Biden gave Ukraine. He better start giving us them raw earth materials. Fucking that little faggot-ass bitch Zelensky.
Imported steel and aluminum.
This is going to be disruptive on day one. It's going to increase the
Good.
cost of doing business.
The total amount depends on
Good,
the
they better
vehicle.
start making the
A
shit in
Cox
America
Automotive
again.
estimate shows a car made in the U.S.
Hold on. Did you know most cars used to be made, including all the parts, in America before fucking Bill Clinton created the free
Incur-
trade agreement?
$3,000 in cost from the Canada-Mexico tariffs, plus another $3,000 from the tariffs on foreign-made auto parts. Then research shows an added $400 for the steel and aluminum tariffs, and more for any reciprocal or
Well, the
universal
Ukraine better
tariffs.
start giving us them
I've heard the
materials.
concerns from the automakers, though, about the tariffs on parts that will go into effect over the coming weeks, about what that's going to mean for the price of
Well, I gave them a
American-made
big
cars.
break for a month. I didn't charge them anything, for a big month, for that first month. And they brought a lot of material into this country because they could bring it in without tariff.
But eventually, added production costs could change what cars buyers see on dealer lots.
You could see a stop in production of a number of vehicles.
They
Some of
already
which are
stopped
very important
production.
to
They
the
stopped making the Dodge
Trump's
Charger,
goal,
they stopped
however,
making the
is to
Camaro,
pressure
they stopped making the
automakers to make them
Challenger.
in the U.S. instead.
This is going to lead to the construction of a lot of
Yes,
a lot of
that's what we
plants.
need.
And the White House said the duties on Canada and Mexico are also meant to disrupt the drug trade.
We've lost millions of people due to fentanyl. It comes mostly from China, but it comes through
I don't know
Mexico
what
and it
that
comes
has to
through
do with
Canada.
cars, but
The trade
okay.
group representing Ford, GM, and Stellantis said it's critical that tariffs are done in a way that preserves the competitiveness of the North American auto sector. North American is the key there. Because of the Trump-negotiated USMCA and NAFTA before it, automakers have essentially viewed
Hey.
these countries as
They just showed Bill Clinton signing a free trade agreement in the video. With the whole reason everything started being made in other countries, because of him.
We have really built the industry around that free trade zone. that's
Because Bill
existed
Clinton
for
made
so
that little
long.
cupcake
It's
for
why
ya.
Mexico and Canada exported about $75 billion in passenger cars and more than $100 billion in auto parts to the U.S. last year. So shrinking supply chains to just the U.S.
If you had to move production
Oh,
of, or even a complex system like an engine, a transmission, an axle.
Those all used to be
and you're
made in
making that
America
Canada, you're
before
making
Bill
that in
Clinton
Mexico,
did the
and you
free
just wanna
trade
move the
agreement.
plant, that could be years.
Analysts say even shifting a foreign-made part to a U.S. supplier can take months.
We have well-established.
That's why we need to start making it here. It's going to take a few months to start
detailed
making it,
testing
but
plans for every component on a vehicle, and we don't get to skip those just because we might want to, or it might be easy, right? Because it's a safety and quality issue. It costs money and it costs lives when we get those things wrong.
So either choice, moving production or facing the tariffs, come with added costs, some of which economists say will be passed on to consumers.
in the long run, though, it'll be good because then we'll be making the shit here
This
again.
could then tamp down demand and slow production.
If there's less production, there'll be less demand for workers in the North American auto industry. Even before you get the...
I used to be excited when the auto show came. Now it's like I don't even want to go to the auto show. It's all like shitty. They barely have any cars there anymore. They barely have anything at the auto show worth going for.
In profitability, there'll probably be a push for more labor-saving investment in U.S. production to try to compensate for the increased costs elsewhere in the production process.
That labor-saving investment, analysts say, will come in the form of automation.
When you move production to the U.S., you do it, because you need to be close, but it doesn't necessarily bring a lot of jobs with it. It brings a lot of automation.
But the United Auto Workers Union applauded Trump's tariff on foreign autos, adding it's now on the automakers to bring back good union jobs to the U.S. To make investments months or years into the future, automakers need
certainty and stability. Just you want it to be clear what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and why it's going to happen.
But automakers are still waiting for clarity on the extent and application of the various tariffs, especially after the pause and then temporary exemption from the Mexico-Canada tariffs.
The uncertainty of whether and how long these tariffs will stick around is creating real dollars waste in terms of warehousing and trucking, and call it soft waste, wasted
America's got
time,
some balls
wasted energy,
again, finally.
wasted attention that could be better deployed building and designing the next vehicle,
and giving other
the
people
next
the jobs
system.
in other
That
countries,
time
right?
spent debating if this alternator should continue to come from Mexico or this crossbeam from Canada is to some a distraction from the larger disruptors in the industry, namely the fast-moving Chinese competition. China is now the world's largest vehicle exporter.
Very tumultuous time in the industry.
Because of us.
For sure. Things are changing faster than they ever did before. And at the end of the day, you have to remember, it's not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. And so, whatever you are, don't be the slow. So move quickly.
Dive into delicious with a classic Wisconsin fish fry at Culver's.
Fuck you, Culver's. Culver's thing.
When it can.
I'm trying to see about the new car shit that's being... Oh no, this is all Tesla. Oh, Hyundai's New Georgia plant. Here we go.
Of course, as the Trump administration pushes automakers for more production here in the United States.
Good.
You saw Phil LeBeau moments ago with the cars and some robots, and he joins us again. Tell us exactly what's going on there, Phil.
We're making cars in America
David, you
again,
mentioned
and
robots.
the parts.
I bring you robots. Check this out. Boston Dynamics, which is 90% owned by the Hyundai Group.
What the fuck? Why do they got a
are a
dog
big
hopping
part
at the car?
of the robots from Boston Dynamics, a big part of checking the manufacturing quality of this Ioniq 5.
They have a
also
robot
Ioniq
dog
9s that
checking
come
the
through
car?
here. Every body of every vehicle
What
that
the
comes off the
fuck?
line is inspected.
Why
by
is it a
these
robotic
robots to
dog?
make sure that the holes are drilled in the right spot, the weld joints are in the right spot. Essentially, it's quality control.
How about they have a
It's also
human
a little
check
freaky
it?
when the first time you see it out here, but this is a peek at future of manufacturing here in the United States. Really, it's manufacturing around the world. How important is this plant, not only for Hyundai, but in terms of auto manufacturing? Keep in mind that just over 54% of the vehicles sold in the United States are built in the United States, and more than 8% are imported from Korea. Though Hyundai believes that as this plant starts to spool up production, it will be importing fewer from Korea and selling more of the vehicles it builds here in the United States.
Good.
This plant has the capacity to ultimately build 300,000 vehicles, though they could expand that up to 500,000 vehicles annually. And for Hyundai, the growth continues. We've talked about this for a long time. Hyundai Kia has been on a steady growth trajectory here in the United States. Now the fourth largest automaker. Sales last year up 3.3%. And this plant is focused strictly on EVs. Though when you talk with Hyundai executives, it's pretty clear. They realize the future is not just EVs, but also hybrids and internal combustion engine vehicles. They now have 3 plants open in the United States. And later today, we're going to hear from the CEO of Hyundai, Jose Munoz. We'll talk to him about his thoughts about the future of manufacturing, especially given the emphasis that is being put on it when it comes to the White House and its push for more domestic manufacturing automobiles. Guys, I'll send it back to you while I hang out with my robotic friends here.
We were just talking about this, Phil. We were literally just talking about whether if the Trump administration can be successful, and Hyundai is a good example of getting more cars built in the U.S. Though we don't see many workers behind you, just robots. So how many people does it take to fill a plant like this?
Well, here, we'll show you the robots. Here, let's stay on the robots only because it is pretty fascinating just to watch them. But then I'm going to show you that.
Jobs.
There we go. He's doing his thing. And look, this is not the only manufacturing plant that has robots doing this type of work. We're seeing this more and more in all industries when it comes to manufacturing. You're just going to start to see it increase dramatically, I would say, over the next decade. But in terms of people, guys, let me show you right back here. Look, there's scores of people here. 8,500 will ultimately work at this plant.
Oh, that's a lot.
And then when you add the suppliers in the area, they expect another 6,500 jobs to be created. Some of them have already been created. There are already suppliers in this area. So it's not like the robots are taking over and we will never see humans working in an auto plant. It's just that this is going to be augmenting the work of humans. Quality control is number one on the list of things that they want to make sure they, this factory is known for.
Time is running out.
Okay, let's see another one. Okay, good job, Hyundai. What new plants is GM planning to open in America in the coming months? Here we go. 4 days ago.
General Motors is planning to reopen its U.S. and Canadian plants on May 18th. The company said it's working with government health officials and the unions on safety measures needed to reopen and operate those plants. Meanwhile, GM also managed to turn a profit in the first 3 months of the year despite the pandemic. The company reported net income of $294
this is from 4 years
million.
ago. I'm trying to find something more recent. That's from 15 years ago. What new American cars will be made in America soon? Let's try rephrasing it. Let's see if we can find out something. Oh, there's the Ford thing again. Find anything on it. Will Chevy be making a new Chevelle? Ooh, I like this one. That's from 7 months ago. That's badass. This doesn't look futuristic. That one does. That's from 2 years ago. 7 months ago. That 1 year ago one. That's pretty cool. It's from a year ago. I already saw that. I didn't know about that. 5 months ago, I've seen this one. 2025 Impala SS from a year ago. That's badass, the 2025 Impala SS, if they made that. This one moved it off like 70 something. It might be like a 69 Chevelle Futurist. What is this one? Let's see what this one is.
Life is expensive. Quality tool.
Harbor Freight, you didn't advertise for me. You didn't give me no money. I ain't running your commercial.
We're freight with over 1,500 locations nationwide.
When the Chevrolet Chevelle Supersport 454 was released in the 1970s, a new era of powerful muscle cars was born. Sadly, the dynasty of Chevelle muscle cars only lasted for 3 generations before it was discontinued due to the enormous production costs General Motors was incurring despite the huge success of the Chevelle brand. And while fans have long since questioned the company's decision not to reboot the hit brand, General Motors has been pretty secretive about any new developments. The first hint that light is indeed at the end of the tunnel was in 2013, when GM renewed its Chevelle nameplate trademark. This move was quickly followed by the reboot and resurrection of iconic model names, such as the Hummer and Blazer. But of course, we still heard nothing about a revived Chevelle. Fast forward to 2022, and we got news about a new Chevelle car, except it wasn't from GM Chevrolet, but from a Tallahassee-based company called Trans Am Worldwide. Depending on how much of a gearhead you are, you may or may not have heard of this creative company. So if you don't know, Trans Am Worldwide became famous for transforming the original Chevrolet Camaro into a modern custom car. The custom car, which was called the 1970s Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, brought back the good old Smokey and Bandit vibes without forcing anyone to drive a 40-year-old car. The company received so much praise for its work that a TV series about it was made by Discovery. Aside from the Chevrolet Camaro, Trans Am Worldwide has also worked on a number of historic...
God damn it. It froze. These fucking chargers not working, man. What the fuck? I lost the internet. I don't know. This is gonna have to end. Like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, yo.